So we're on board currently with Lewis Hamilton, who's chasing down Mark Webber in the Red Bull Racing Renault. As they come onto the back straight, drivers will be touching around about 190 miles an hour before they have to brake sharply for the left-handed hairpin. Down into about second gear for that one, 85 miles an hour before you flick it over to the right. See the pit entry there on your left into his final chicane, and then you come on to the main straight, I should say, the start-finish straight rather, as the drivers cross the line again to start another lap of this anti-clockwise circuit. 5.8 kilometres it is, the 2010 Turkish Grand Prix. Like I say, Lewis Hamilton currently chasing down Mark Webber in the Renault. The McLaren driver, though, has driven a superb race so far. He's driving in the MP4-27. Has been absolutely supreme. He's currently on the soft tyre, and as you can see ahead of you, Mark Webber, I believe, is on the hard compounded tyre as they come through this sequence of corners, all downhill into the right and left-hander, all third gear, going up to fourth, up the box, into fifth, and then squirming it through sixth and seventh before they head into turn 6. The right-hander that's uphill, you brake and turn in. Always wants to understeer, and the back end always wants to get away as you try and get onto the power before you come up to this one. Turn 8, 3 left-handed apexes, great corner this, and my goodness me, the G-forces, you're touching 5G on your neck there in qualifying, and drivers have been trying to save it throughout the weekend, as we've been trying to see, and of course it's been very, very difficult indeed as they come through the left-hander and the right-hander. This part, of course, of the lap is where Jenson Button got past Sebastian Vettel this time last year for the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 2, and of course it was Button who went on to win it, his final win of the season, as we look at Lewis Hamilton getting very close on Mark Webber there into the braking zone, darts to the inside, but there we see Mark Webber just closes the door through the hairpin and just positions his car so perfectly, as Hamilton again has another look at the inside. What Hamilton wants to be here is patient. That is a game. If he tries to dial a move up the inside and it doesn't pay off, he's going to lose his front wing and ruin Mark Webber's race also. But he's got a good run out onto the main straight into turn 1. But again, Webber defends his line perfectly as they start this third lap of the duel. Really chasing for a podium position here. It's not even the race win, but I tell you what, Lewis Hamilton is looking very feisty at this stage in the race. He's already stopped from his soft tyres and is onto the prime set of tyres. And as we know, these tyres could probably go a race distance if he tried. But of course, the FIA regulations stipulate that all drivers must be on both compounds of a different tyre, and that is exactly what Lewis Hamilton's done currently on the soft compound tyre, I should say. Hamilton's on, not the hard compound, my mistake, as they head again towards turn 8. And the problem that Lewis Hamilton's going to face in this part of the lap, especially, of course, is he's in the turbulent air of the Renault, of the Red Bull Renault, and he's going to, of course, encounter he's in the dirty air of it, so that's going to affect the aerodynamics of the car massively, as opposed to Webber, who's in clean air at the moment. So, of course, it's going to cause the car to wash wide with understeer and just not have the right balance it would do normally. As he comes again onto the back straight, we know the Mercedes power plant is a lot quicker than the Renault. As we've seen, of course, we saw that, of course, last year when Red Bull, especially at Monza, when Red Bull were really struggling with straight line speed. But the aerodynamics of that RB6 are very, very good indeed as he comes through. Lewis Hamilton really is on the edge of adhesion. And he's just pressuring Mark Webber so much, and he's just trying to make, just going to try and get the manoeuvre there, the Briton, of course, the 2008 World Champion Lewis Hamilton, as he comes across the line again to start the lap. But it does look that the Red Bull RB6 has currently got the edge. He's definitely got a lot more mechanical grip, has Mark Webber over Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton is just so supreme in that last sector, can really edge up. Of course, he's running a lower downforce setting, which will really help the Briton, especially, like I say, onto that back straight. And the F-duct on that McLaren MP4-26 is really helping Lewis Hamilton. So out of turn 5 they come and head towards turn 6 and 7, the right-hander. You brake at the 100-metre, sorry, the 50-metre board, I should say, down into third gear, and just have to try and aim for the edge of the corner. But there you see, look, Mark Webber just getting such a supreme exit out of there, and he's missed the first apex there, and he's just taking a very conservative line through turn 8, obviously trying to save his neck for later on, because going through that left-hander, of course, an anti-clockwise circuit, drivers, of course, are generally used to running on the clockwise configuration of circuits, and the anti-clockwise really does put a strain on their necks. A lot more left-handers, one of the only anti-clockwise circuits with Brazil on the Formula 1 calendar currently, along with Singapore as well, of course. And yeah, Hamilton's just not quite close enough as they're onto the back straight, deploys the F-duct, but again is just not quite there. But I tell you what, Mark Webber's just on a tad wide there through these final series of corners, and they both go into the pit lane at the same time then, so they're both going on to the hard compound of tyres. This will be very, very interesting to see the revelations. So it'll be interesting to see, of course, how much, not fuel they take on board, of course, how quick their stops are in comparison. So no refueling this year, just a tyre change, and the Mercedes, the McLaren boys have got it done. Oh, there's a bit of a slow stop, and they're going to have to, yep, they're going to have to let Mark Webber out there. So, otherwise they'd have been deemed for an unsafe release. So Hamilton loses a bit in the pit stop over Mark Webber, but hopefully on the colder tyres and the prime tyres, Hamilton might find the edge on performance as they both exit the pit lane, and there's Sebastian Vettel going past them as well. So Lewis Hamilton has now got 2 Red Bulls to contend with before he can even consider making any progress and any inroads into the lead of the race. So we're looking at Lewis Hamilton currently chasing down Sebastian Vettel and also Mark Webber, both in the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls really do seem to have the pace here at Istanbul Park.